Have you ever had everything you needed, but still felt like something was missing? Research shows that nearly 70% of people focus more on what they lack than on what they already have. And that one habit, that single shift in thinking quietly steals happiness from millions of lives every single day. Today's story is about two men, one brutal journey, and one ancient tree that said something so powerful it stopped a man cold in his tracks. Keep watching, because this story might change the way you see your entire life. Long ago, when horses carried travelers across dusty roads and lanterns lit the way home, there lived two young men named Zion and Colt. They could not have been more different. Zion was calm, grateful, and slow to anger, the kind of person who finds something to appreciate even in the worst situations. Colt was bold and restless, always chasing the next thing, always frustrated when life did not move at his speed. For 3 long years, both men had been working in a large city far from their village. But the time had finally come to return home, where their families were waiting with open arms. The journey, however, was not going to be easy. Their carriage driver refused to take them through the forest road, leaving them with no choice but to walk the entire way on foot. Colt was furious. Zion simply adjusted his bag and kept moving. The forest they entered first was scattered with hidden hunter traps, forcing every single step to be slow and careful. Their legs grew heavy, their throats burned with thirst. But the thought of home kept pulling them forward like a rope tied around their hearts. Then they hit a serious problem. The river bridge had been completely destroyed by recent flooding. There was no way around it. After a quick discussion, they made the bold decision to swim across. The current was powerful and ice-cold, fighting them every stroke of the way. When they finally dragged themselves onto the opposite bank, completely exhausted, disaster struck again. Their water bottle had been swept away by the current. Gone. Zion caught his breath. Quietly thanked God they had survived, and changed into his last dry clothes. Colt, however, was ready to explode. No water, soaking wet, still miles from home. It felt like the world was against him. And then, as if things could not get worse, the sky cracked open, and rain poured down in heavy sheets. They sprinted through the trees, desperately searching for shelter. Just when hope was fading, they spotted a small wooden hut tucked deep in the forest, likely built by a hunter long ago. They ducked inside. Zion held out a container and began collecting rainwater dripping through the roof. Colt sat in the corner and complained bitterly about the coachman, the river, the rain, and the entire miserable journey. When the storm cleared around midday, they pushed on. The forest eventually opened up, and distant villages appeared on the horizon like a reward waiting to be claimed. But the afternoon sun was brutal now, and hunger was twisting their stomachs painfully. Finally, they reached a massive old tree with wide, generous branches spreading shade in every direction. They sat, ate the very last of their food, and collapsed in exhaustion beneath it. It was Colt who broke the silence. He looked up at the tree and scoffed. "What is even the point of this thing? It's huge, sure, but it has no fruit, completely useless." Then something happened that neither man could explain. A deep, ancient voice rose from the tree like a slow rumble beneath the earth. "I have stood here for centuries. My roots grip this soil so the rains cannot wash it away. My branches are homes to hundreds of living creatures. Every creation carries a purpose beyond what your eyes can immediately see. Do not call something worthless simply because it does not give you what you expected." Colt went completely still. The anger left his face all at once. He thought about the rain that had actually given them water to drink, the hut that had sheltered them, the river they had survived, and now this shade cooling them in the unbearable heat. Every single thing he had complained about had also carried a hidden blessing inside it. That is the real lesson here. Gratitude is not about pretending life is perfect. It is about choosing to see the full basket, not just the one rotten orange sitting on top. Your life is already full of blessings. Sometimes you just need to look a little deeper to find them. If this story moved you, please give it a like. Drop a comment with one thing you are grateful for today, and subscribe so you never miss a story like this one. See you in the next one.